Bananas, the quiet guardian of your muscles. Now, there's a fruit I like to call the small but steadfast friend of our bodies. Here in America, you'll find it everywhere, in supermarkets, corner stores, and even at the weekend farmer's market. It's not glamorous, it's not expensive, and it doesn't need fancy preparation. Just peel back its thin golden skin, and right there in your hand is a natural battery for your muscles. Yes, I'm talking about the banana. You might smile and think, bananas? What's so special? I've been eating them since I was a kid. But let me tell you a story. One of my patients, Helen, 72, often suffered from painful nighttime leg cramps. She told me there were nights when the sudden spasm in her calf was so sharp it woke her up in tears. It wasn't like a bruise or a fleeting ache. It was as if the muscle twisted into a knot, forcing her to grab her leg, gasping for air, waiting helplessly until it released. Have you ever felt that way? In the quiet of the night, alone with that pain that arrives without warning? I know many people over 60 are nodding right now. And the surprising truth is, part of the solution might already be sitting there, in the fruit bowl on your kitchen table. Bananas may seem too simple, but sometimes simplicity holds the answer we forget. One banana has about 420 milligrams of potassium, a mineral that works like a switch for your muscles. When potassium levels drop, muscles become overly sensitive, firing off contractions without warning. Picture a guitar string pulled too tight. Even the lightest touch sends out a harsh note. That's how cramps happen. But bananas don't stop there. They also carry magnesium, another mineral that often gets overlooked but is just as vital. If potassium is the ignition key for your engine, magnesium is the brake pedal. Without brakes, the car soon loses control, and that's when cramps rob you of your sleep. One evening, I asked Helen, "Would you like to try a simpler remedy?" She looked surprised. I smiled and said, "Just eat a banana before bed, that's all." She agreed. A week later, she came back with relief in her eyes. "Doctor, those night cramps have almost disappeared. I'm sleeping soundly again, and in the morning my legs feel lighter." It may sound like magic, but it's really just simple science. Bananas give you potassium, magnesium, and vitamin B6, a nutrient essential for healthy nerves. Vitamin B6 helps nerve signals stay clear and balanced so muscles don't misfire and spasm for no reason. Imagine your muscles as musicians in an orchestra. When minerals are missing, the players fall out of rhythm and the whole performance becomes jarring. Bananas are like the quiet conductor, keeping everything in harmony. Now, some people ask me, "But doctor, I have diabetes. Won't bananas spike my blood sugar?" Here's the truth. Bananas are sweet, yes, but not as dangerous as many fear. Eat one with a handful of almonds or a spoonful of Greek yogurt, and the fiber and protein will slow sugar absorption. That way you enjoy the benefits without worrying about blood sugar swings. The truth is, many of us chase complicated solutions, expensive supplements, fancy treatments, and we forget that nature already gave us this golden pill at a fraction of the cost. Over the years, I've seen hundreds of patients over 60. Their stories differ, but there's one common thread. When they began adding bananas into their daily routine, something shifted. Some slept better. Some felt less fatigue after gardening. Some stopped dreading those midnight cramps. And you too can start tonight. Before turning off the light, before your evening prayer or a few pages of a good book, eat one banana. Just that. A small habit that can make a big difference in just a few days. I won't promise bananas are a miracle cure for everything, but I can tell you, from my own experience and from walking alongside thousands of older adults, that the simplest things often carry the deepest power. Bananas are proof of that. So the next time you reach for a healthy step towards stronger legs and a peaceful night's sleep, remember, you may not need to look far. Sometimes the answer is already waiting for you, in the humble golden banana you've passed by 100 times before. Perdón. Eggs, the small but mighty gift for aging muscles. Do you remember the last time you ate a hard-boiled egg? Maybe it was a quick breakfast in the kitchen, or a simple lunch tossed into a salad. But what many people don't realize is that inside that little egg lies a remarkable strength, especially for the legs and muscles of older adults like us. One of my patients, Richard, 68, once told me, "Doctor, I try to walk every morning, but my legs always feel weak and heavy. Sometimes at night, they cramp up so badly I can't relax. I've tried supplements, but nothing really seems to help." I smiled and asked him, "Richard, do you still eat eggs?" He looked surprised. "Eggs? I avoid them. I'm worried about cholesterol." And that's the same concern I hear from so many people. But let me tell you the truth. Eggs are not the enemy of your heart. In fact, when used wisely, they're one of your body's quiet allies. Each egg contains about 6 grams of high-quality protein, easy to digest, easy to absorb, and most importantly, complete with all the essential amino acids that older bodies often lack. You see, as we age, we face something called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass. That's why stairs feel harder, carrying groceries feels heavier, and why our legs don't always keep up with us. But eggs, with their gentle, complete protein, act like patient repairmen, restoring little by little, day by day, the muscle fibers that time has worn thin. And that's not all. Inside the golden yolk rests vitamin D, a nutrient nearly every older adult in America is short on. I like to joke, vitamin D is sunshine wrapped inside the yolk of an egg. It helps your body absorb calcium, relaxes your muscles, and calms down the faulty nerve signals that cause painful cramps. Imagine, instead of waking up at 2 a.m. clutching your calf, you could sleep through the night simply by adding an egg a day. There's also vitamin B12. Younger folks don't worry much about it, but after 60, our ability to absorb B12 drops dramatically, especially if you take diabetes medication or stomach acid reducers. Without B12, nerve signals falter, leaving you with tingling hands and feet, weakness, even more frequent cramps. Thankfully, eggs provide B12 in a form that's easy for the body to use, gentle on even an older digestive system. Some people ask me, "Doctor, how many eggs can I eat a week?" Modern research shows that for healthy older adults, 6 or 7 eggs a week are not only safe, they're beneficial. And if you compare a breakfast of eggs to one of processed sausage or canned meats, the egg wins every time. For your heart, for your muscles, for your health. So picture this. It's morning. You start the day with a soft-boiled egg, a slice of whole grain toast, and maybe a few slices of avocado. Simple, affordable. Yet in that one meal, you've given your body protein, vitamin D, and vitamin B12, the trio that keeps your legs strong, your nerves calm, and those nighttime cramps at bay. Just like Richard. After a few months of eating eggs regularly, he came back to me and said, "Doctor, I feel stronger, I walk faster, and those nighttime cramps hardly ever visit me anymore. I've learned that sometimes the answer isn't in a pill bottle, it's right there on the dinner table." I share this with you because it reminds me of a deeper truth. Often, it's the simplest things that carry the greatest power. The egg is not just food, it's a symbol of wholeness, of nourishment from within, perfectly suited for the autumn season of our lives. Think about it. After all the highs and lows of our journey, what we truly need at this stage is not magical secrets or expensive tricks, but small, steady habits. And maybe one egg a day could be exactly that simple, steady gift your body's been waiting for. Leafy greens, the natural battery for your body. Have you ever noticed that sometimes your body feels like a car that's logged too many miles? When we were young, the engine could run endlessly, speed up, turn sharply, recover quickly. But as the years go by, that engine doesn't hum the way it used to. To keep running smoothly, it needs to be recharged, like a battery that must always stay full. And for the human body, leafy greens are one of the best natural batteries we have. One spring morning last year, I met Eleanor, 74, slim, with a kind face. She sighed and told me, "Doctor, lately my arms and legs feel weak. Sometimes I'll be standing still, and suddenly a cramp strikes and I have to sit down. I drink milk, I eat meat and fish, but I still feel like my body is running on empty." I listened, then asked, "Do you eat leafy greens? Spinach, kale, Swiss chard?" She smiled sheepishly. "Not much. I don't really like the slightly bitter taste, so I usually skip them." And that, my friends, was one of the reasons. You see, leafy greens are packed with treasures that many older adults are missing. magnesium, calcium, and antioxidants. I often explain it this way. Magnesium is like the brakes of the body. It helps your muscles relax after each contraction. Without it, your muscles are like guitar strings wound too tight, ready to snap into a painful cramp. Calcium is like the electricity that powers each movement. Without it, nerve signals don't flow properly, and your muscles may lock up, like a flickering light switch. Antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin K, flavonoids, are like quiet repairmen, fixing and protecting muscles and nerves from the wear and tear of aging. Sometimes I ask patients to picture a green field in the early morning, each leaf full of dew, soaking up the sunlight. When you eat those leaves, you're bringing that same light, those minerals, that vitality into your body. Have you ever felt that low battery sensation? Those days when your energy drains, your body feels heavy, like your phone flashing red at 10%? That's when a bowl of warm Swiss chard soup or a simple kale salad drizzled with olive oil can work like a gentle recharge. Not flashy, not instant, but steady, dependable. I remember a close friend of mine, a retired math professor my age. He often felt sore after even gentle yoga. I suggested, try a morning smoothie, spinach with a banana. A month later, he smiled and told me, I didn't expect this. Less soreness, fewer cramps, and I even sleep better now. Science agrees. Studies show that older adults who eat more leafy greens have stronger bones, lower risk of osteoporosis, fewer nighttime cramps, and less nerve inflammation. Put simply, they act like a multi-charger for your tired body. Now imagine this. After a long day, instead of heating up processed food, you make yourself a plate of salad, some kale, a handful of spinach, a few walnuts, a drizzle of olive oil. When you take that first bite, it's not just flavor. It's nature whispering, I'm here, refueling your legs and your heart. Maybe you're thinking, but doctor, I don't like greens. They're bland or bitter. Trust me, your body can learn to love them. Start small. Add spinach to your morning omelet. Toss kale into soup. Blend a smoothie with apple, banana, and a handful of spinach. The fruit's sweetness will mask the bitterness. Soon you'll notice something. Meals without greens start to feel incomplete. What I want you to remember is this. Leafy greens are not just a side dish. They are living energy, the natural battery for your body. They nourish muscles, protect bones, calm nerves, and, above all, give you a sense of balance, like being plugged into a steady source of power each day. You see, the path to a stronger, healthier body isn't always hidden in expensive pills or complicated treatments. Sometimes it's in the humble bowl of greens right in front of you. Aging may bring its limits, but by adding just a little more green to your plate each day, you give yourself something priceless. The chance to walk steadier, sleep deeper, and live each moment more fully. Shutsurishirshon, nuts and seeds, the tiny shields protecting your muscles. Have you ever held a small handful of nuts in your palm and thought about how something so tiny could help keep your muscles safe? Most people think of nuts as just a snack, but to me they're more like little shields, protecting the body from aging, from painful cramps, and from the deep fatigue that so often comes with growing older. I remember James, 70 years old, a retired sailor I once treated. He told me, Doctor, every night my calves lock up. Some nights the pain is so bad I can't get back to sleep. I've just learned to live with it. I thought that's just part of getting old. I suggested gently, James, try adding some nuts to your diet. Not a lot, just a small handful of almonds, pumpkin seeds, or walnuts each day. A month later, he came back, his eyes brighter. Doctor, I can't believe how much difference it made. I sleep better now. The cramps are almost gone, and even my heart feels lighter. You see, inside those small nuts lies enormous power. Magnesium, found in pumpkin seeds, almonds, cashews, is the key that allows muscles to relax. Without enough, your muscles are like a violin string pulled too tight, always on the verge of snapping into a painful cramp. Potassium in pistachios, almonds, helps guide nerve signals and keeps the rhythm of muscle contractions steady. Think of it as a conductor leading the orchestra, making sure your body's music stays smooth and in tune. But that's not all. Nuts are also rich in healthy fats, omega-3s, and monounsaturated fats. These nourish your blood vessels, improve circulation, and carry oxygen and nutrients to your muscles. With better blood flow, your muscles stay fed, relaxed, and less prone to cramping. Another benefit I often remind my patients of: nuts are a natural anti-inflammatory shield. You see, inflammation isn't always loud. In our 60s and 70s, it can be like a quiet fire smoldering inside the muscles and joints, causing aches, fatigue, and more frequent cramps. Vitamin E, selenium, and antioxidants in nuts are like drops of cool water on that fire, soothing the body from the inside. Have you ever felt after a long day gardening or a long walk that your body just wants to quit? That's when a small handful of walnuts or a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds over your salad can be a simple but powerful gift. Quiet, unassuming, but always there when your body needs it most. I often advise patients: keep a jar of almonds or pistachios in your kitchen. When the afternoon craving hits, instead of cookies or chips, reach for a handful of nuts. The crunch of almonds, the creamy richness of walnuts, or the slight saltiness of pistachios. These don't just satisfy your appetite, they also nourish your muscles, your heart, and your nerves. I remember Linda, 65, who once asked me, "Doctor, I'm afraid if I eat nuts, I'll gain weight." I smiled. Like anything in life, the key is balance. A small handful, about an ounce, the size of your palm, each day is enough. Think of it as medicine, not a feast. And truly, when you enjoy nuts in the right amount, your body responds. Fewer cramps, less joint pain, a calmer, lighter mind. You see, in the long journey of life, strength doesn't always come from the grand and the mighty. Sometimes it comes from the humble and the small. Nuts are like seeds planted in the soil of your body, slowly sprouting into lasting health. So if you're watching this and you've been struggling with night cramps, I invite you to give your body a chance. One handful of nuts a day. Make it a small ritual, a quiet way of caring for yourself. Because sometimes, to protect your muscles and your heart, you don't need to look far. The answer may already be right there, in the tiny handful resting gently in your palm. Water, the natural medicine against cramps. Do you remember the last time you truly felt thirsty? Interestingly, at 60 or 70, that feeling isn't as strong as it was when we were young. Many of my patients tell me, "Doctor, I don't really feel thirsty during the day, but my legs feel heavy, my muscles tighten easily, and my sleep is often broken by painful cramps." Sometimes the cause isn't medication, and it isn't just age. Sometimes it's simply this: the body is dehydrated. Water, it sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But among all the supplements, special diets, and treatments out there, water remains the cheapest, most effective medicine for your muscles and your legs. I often tell my patients, think of your body like a garden. If the soil is dry, plants wilt, stems snap, leaves lose their strength. But give it rain and the garden springs back to life. Muscles are the same. Without water, muscle cells dry out, electrolytes lose their balance, and cramps appear. One of my patients, Margaret, 75, suffered from cramps almost every night. She took her medicine faithfully, ate fairly well, but when I asked about water, she admitted, "I only drink 1 or 2 glasses a day. I don't want to be running to the bathroom all the time." I suggested she start small, one warm glass in the morning, one after lunch, and another before bed. After a few weeks, she returned smiling. "Doctor, the cramps are almost gone. At last, I'm sleeping through the night." Science agrees. Even mild dehydration makes muscles more excitable, more likely to cramp. Drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, more if you're active outdoors, can make a noticeable difference. And remember, hydration doesn't come only from a plain glass of water. Vegetable soups, juicy fruits, even a cup of herbal tea, all are gentle ways of recharging the body. I tell my patients, make drinking water a daily ritual, like saying good morning to your body. And have you noticed, sometimes a single glass of cool water can calm not only your muscles, but your spirit as well? That's because water nourishes more than the body. It nourishes peace of mind. Closing thoughts. So today we've explored 5 simple friends that guard against cramps. The sweet banana, full of minerals. The humble egg, a complete source of nutrition. Leafy greens, the body's natural battery, nuts and seeds. Tiny but powerful shields. And finally, water, the natural medicine we too often forget. Each one is simple, affordable, and close at hand. Yet each has the power to change your life. They can give you stronger legs, deeper sleep, and a body more resilient to the challenges of aging. Now I want to ask you, have you tried any of these? Do you have your own way of preventing night cramps? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, click subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I'll continue sharing simple, practical health tips, the kind of wisdom I've gathered over decades of working with people over 50 here in the United States. Remember, taking care of your health doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it begins with just a banana, an egg, a bowl of greens, a handful of nuts, or a glass of water. Little by little, day by day, you'll find that aging too can be a journey of strength, peace, and meaning.